Hey, I'm Amy Feller, also known as the Roofer Chick, and you're here for another Tailgate Talk. Today we're going to talk about what does insurance cover, because it doesn't cover everything. What it generally covers is what I refer to as acts of God. Whether you believe in him or not is a whole nother discussion. So, acts of God are wind, which can be from a tornado, a hurricane, and I thought there was another one that had to do with that, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, wind, wind can cause an object to fall on your roof, which they would cover that. So, generally, that's a tree, but it can also be a trampoline, the neighbor's shed. It depends on how bad it gets. They also cover hail, which is probably what we see the most of here in Central Texas. On flood, that depends on your policy, and you want to read that real close. I don't know much about flood insurance, but I know it can be an issue if you don't have coverage for it. And some places it's actually a separate policy. If you had an alien invasion, that would more than likely be covered. Lightning is another one that we see, and that is covered. And generally, vandalism is covered. To see what exactly is covered by your policy, you need to read it just to make sure. Things that people think are covered but they're not. Normal wear and tear on your roof is not covered. So if it's just old and it needs to be replaced, some people think that insurance always pays for your roof. They don't. They only pay for it if it was damaged. They don't cover negligence. So what this means is, say you have a windstorm and you lose half your roof, but you don't do anything about it because you just don't want to deal with it, and 3 years later you finally decide to call in a claim. Your insurance company comes out and they're nice enough to go ahead and replace your roof even though you're outside the statute of limitations, but by that point all your decking and your rafters have started to rot. Well, they're not going to cover that because they're going to call that nicely. They're going to call it negligence because you didn't repair your roof when it first happened. Another thing that's not covered is manufacturer defect. You would need to actually follow up with the manufacturer if you have a defect. And another one is a workmanship issue, which is sad and unfortunate, but they don't cover it. So if your original roofer didn't do a good job on the chimney flashing and your chimney leaks, it's not something that's going to be covered by insurance. And that is a brief summary of what your insurance will and won't cover. Thanks for joining us today.